to our final topic, which this is a fun one. I think this is really fun. We're gonna go over what we think is the most overrated attraction, and it can be anywhere: Disneyland, Walt Disney World, whatever. But we're gonna go over what we think is the most overrated attraction, and what do you think the most underrated attraction. So I'll go down the row. Dre, we'll start with you, sir. Underrated, overrated.
Okay, this is gonna be controversial, guys. Here we go. Controversial.
It better be.
I mean, this. I don't know if it'll get me canceled as hard as George, but I'm going to be right in line there. Overrated. I think I'm going to go Soarin'. I think Soarin' is overrated. Yeah, I know. I said it. I think
that's my answer. Preach.
It's the beauty is in its simplicity, right? And how it works, but it's a little bit too simple for my taste. It's a little bit like, I need a little bit more. I think what they did with, Flight of Passage over the Avatar was the next evolution of that. I think that's kind of a perfect thing right there. But Soarin' as it exists, I don't know, a little bit, it's a little bit overrated. They added a third theater to Epcot just to handle its demand. It would regularly get 3-hour waits and stuff like that. A little too much. But as far as underrated goes, I'm kind of going back and forth on this one. Underrated, as far as like as far as like new attractions, I think Mystic Manor might be a little bit underrated. A lot of people say, "Oh, I want this, I want that, I want Tron and stuff like that." I'm like, dude, Mystic Manor is really good. That's a really strong ride, probably one of the best dark rides that Imagineering has done for a while. But then I also say Jones. Jones doesn't get a lot of love nowadays in the modern era. People talk about Spider-Man, people talk about Harry Potter, they talk about all these other attractions, Rise of the Resistance. I know. Sean's giving me like, really? Jones doesn't get all that much love? It doesn't. People say best theme park rides of all time, and people say Pirates of the Caribbean, people say Rise of the Resistance, but where is Jones? I keep comparing things to Jones because it is so damn good. It's so just incredible, amazing. I don't know. Maybe it's a ride of a bygone era, and that's why people don't talk about it a lot. But I don't know. I think you can make a case for either one of those. Anyway, I might be off base. I'm sure you'll
guys on Twitter at VashSky, VASHSKY.
Yep,
find him there. Let him know.
That's it exactly. Let the tweets fly by.
Hold on. We got to do something here real quick. Here we go. Give me a second, guys.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There we go.
There it is.
That's the new balls to the walls alert.
Yep.
So, Mr. Family Man, overrated, underrated?
Overrated, actually, believe it or not, and mine was actually Soarin' as well. Because I keep track of a lot of the times between Walt Disney World, the wait times with Walt Disney World and Disneyland. And I've noticed a huge jump of like 120, 130 minute wait for Soarin', especially at DCA. And for me, it's just the film footage is completely outdated. It needs a lot of work. You have that erectile dysfunctional Eiffel Tower that just like needs like heavenly amount of work, that it's just like you have to be sitting in the front row in the middle to be able to get I'm sorry, it's sort of something like, it's like the attraction itself is something that's so outdated that I would go to sort of like a local place to kind of like a planetarium type of thing where it's like under budget. But as I said, in that time era, it was like the best thing because it was a new type of ride system that Disney had made, all on its own. And now with Flight of Passage, as Dre had mentioned, it's like the 2.0 of its kind. So it's sort of like kind of fallen behind. And I just think for the wait times, it's not worth it to me.
And then what's your underrated?
My underrated. Well, I was kind of going back and forth on it, and I kind of got stuck between two of them. One is actually at DCA, and the other is at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, and it was the Carousel of Progress and Grizzly River Run at DCA.
Okay,
interesting.
Because I feel that I love Grizzly River Run compared to Cali River Rapids. I enjoy it so much better. It's a bigger thrill. I think you get more soaked on it than Cali River, especially since there's 2 drops opposite of one of Cali River. And then for the Carousel of Progress, it's just the rich history of behind that attraction that Walt Disney created that movable rotational theater. And it's just like, there's so much more behind it where people could just sit in the theater and say, what am I really watching? It's outdated. But there's a story behind as to why that attraction is there. Okay. And I think it has less appreciation than what it really should.
Absolutely. And Sean, what's your underrated, overrated?
Yeah, I'll go really quick. George, people say that Grizzly River Run needs animatronics. Should they add the Carousel of Progress animatronics to Grizzly River Run?
Oh, there you go.
High class attraction.
Combining
there you go.
Yeah.
don't ever do
You should add the Country Bears, though, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the Country Bears. Absolutely.
Brother Bear. Come on, Grizzly River, Brother Bears. Come on, guys.
Nah, Country Bears are better.
Country Bears, man. It's got to be Country Bears.
I agree. No, my overrated number 1 is for sure Soarin'. I agree with Dre there. My biggest problem with it is operationally, just such a slow loader, and you're sitting there for like 15 minutes. The queue is awful. That's just Disney. That's not Disney. Disney's about quick operations, beautiful queues, beautiful facades, and Soarin' is just lacking in every single way. The rewritability is low, especially with Around the World. Half the time the screen's not great. I just think it's overrated. But since George already took that, or Dre already took that, and George, I'll go with Test Track. I don't understand the love Test Track gets. I'm sure it's a nostalgia thing. I didn't experience the original Test Track. I've only experienced new Test Track. I don't even think it's a D ticket attraction. I think it's like a borderline C ticket, but it's treated as an E ticket. And I don't think it's that good of an attraction overall, let alone with the weights that ride gets. It doesn't have good operations. It goes down often. It just doesn't look good. The queue is below average. So Test Track's my overrated. Underrated, I got to go Kilimanjaro Safaris. I think Kilimanjaro Safaris is one of the best attractions Disney has ever built. I mean, if you visited that attraction, to go back to Soarin', I mean, that attraction exists in most cities in the world, right? You ride it for like $10. If Kilimanjaro Safaris existed anywhere, / it does exist, not to that level in some zoos, that's a $30, $40, $50 ride per person. And that's including your admission to a park that it's like the 4th biggest ride, 3rd biggest ride. I mean, I think Kilimanjaro Safaris is one of the best things Disney's ever built. And it gets its weights, sure, but it doesn't really get talked about among the best. So that's my answer for underrated.
Interesting. And Ka, overrated, underrated, sir?
Oh, boy. Overrated Splash Mountain. It's just.
Don't tell George that one.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Sorry, George. It's just like, I was going to go with Living with the Land.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I have to go now. I'm sorry.
He's going to leave. He's going to go. He's going to go.
Living with the Land. You're going to anger some people tonight.
I was going to go with that, but then in this standpoint, that's only Epcot purists that really love that ride. But I'm thinking more of like a wider spectrum. I would have to say Splash Mountain. I do understand that it is a classic ride. I mean, it wasn't one of the first ones that opened on Walt Disney, but it's just, I don't know. It's just so overrated. I don't understand the storyline because, I mean, I get it. Obviously, I get the storyline if you go through it, but it's like,
it's complicated.
Like, yeah, there's just no attachment for me. Like, the movie, and I've never seen it, so it's like, anywho.
I know this is your answer, Creek, but I just wanted to add on to it really quick. I fully agree with you, but I think that when it becomes Princess and the Frog, if it becomes Princess and the Frog, it's going to be one of the best attractions ever because it's already a fantastic ride system and it's a fantastic layout and all that. But I agree with you. The ride makes no sense story-wise, and obviously most people don't have an attraction or an attachment, I should say, to those characters. So I agree with you.
Exactly. And yeah, when Princess and the Frog does come out, I've done well, done right, I think it's really going to be amazing. Like 100%. Underrated.
Living with the land.
Heck no. Underrated. I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Oh, Dinosaur. Of course. Underrated Dinosaur. 100%. I love
Wow,
Dinosaur.
that is quite the hot take there.
And
Golly,
you're absolutely right
Greek.
because it's literally it just I don't know, it's immersive once you step into the pre-screen, the pre-show, and then from the pre-show on you get into the ride vehicle, and obviously it's just like Indiana Jones, but this one it's dinosaurs. I mean, yes, they could update the dinosaurs and the animatronics, but to me, I just think it was done really well, and it was just so cool. And I mean, the first time I rode it, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Honestly, I was scared. I had no clue what was gonna happen. It was just cool. It was cool to me, and I think it's underrated. But it's like if they worked on it enough, I think it could be a really great ride. But they don't show enough love to that ride in terms of updates and things in that nature. But that is my
And you know what, Con? You're absolutely right about that, because it's great subject material, the dinosaur theme and all that. And it's really sad that Disney has sort of forfeited that whole genre, whatever, of dinosaurs to Universal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's such a Disney thing. You can really really dive into, and they just completely abandoned it, unfortunately. They can
Well,
do so
especially
much
because
with
of the entrance to Animal Kingdom. I mean, when that park first opened, they were heavily into adding the facades and the marquee and the signs that add dinosaurs and dragons, because dragons was supposed to be originally part of Animal Kingdom with Beastly Kingdom, and they still to this very day have the signs where it shows the dragon. At the front part of the turnstiles and also on the Animal Kingdom welcome sign, and yet there's no dragons whatsoever in the park.
OG, you've done a couple videos in the past, I know, on dinosaurs. I think it would be a good one because it's actually pretty crazy how much Universal has knocked out of the park their dinosaur IP. I mean, obviously it's just based on Jurassic, but Jurassic World overlay at Hollywood and Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure are two of the best attractions that have been done in any park over the last 5 years. Whereas Disney hasn't updated Dinosaur in 10 years. Yeah, they have the Dino-Rama at Disneyland Railroad, but that's about it as far as Disneyland goes. It's pretty crazy how opposite the companies have gone in terms of dinosaurs.
But I feel like I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's sad because the subject material is really awesome. Actually, I'll try to send, I don't have it with me, but I'll send it to you guys through the DMs. There was actually concept art from a long time ago, I think even pre-Indiana Jones Adventure, that the Imagineers wanted to retheme Adventureland at Disneyland into a dinosaur-themed area. There's artwork for it and everything. It looks really, really dope. But go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry, sir.
No, you're good. I was just basically saying, I feel as though the reason why they don't give enough attention or love to Dinosaur on that whole area back there is because the movie isn't as popular anymore. And it's kind of like, well, this is a ride that we need to kind of cement Animal Kingdom to make it, fun and more lively. So we're just going to keep it here as is, and we're not really going to update or do much with it. But that being said, there could be a whole reimagining of that area with what do you call it? What is that area everybody hates? Dinorama.
Chester and Hester's Dinorama.
It doesn't even need to be talked about. Just you can forget the name. That's perfectly fine.
but that's starting to make me wonder if they're really gonna just do something complete, like a complete overhaul of that whole area. Because, like now thinking about it, they don't touch. I mean, they just got rid of a ride over there, and then
Primeval World.
Like you said, they don't really.
It's funny you bring that up, Creek, because they're recently Disney confirmed that they would be making an announcement about Animal Kingdom. I don't know if it's confirmed. It might still be a rumor, but they're going to be making an announcement about Animal Kingdom soon. So a lot of people are assuming it's going to be in regards to Dinoland. So we'll see.
And I'll close it out with, my overrated. This is probably going to be an unpopular one. Might not surprise you guys. I don't know. Maybe it will. I'm going to go with overrated Incredicoaster. The Incredicoaster. I just feel like Okay,
It's
look,
great
it's a
being on the
great
channel for this 1
coaster.
week, guys.
It's one of the best coasters on earth.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's like it's just there's a few things that for me kind of work against it.
Mm.
It's ugly. It's so super ugly.
It's very-
and like I mentioned earlier, with we can see through it. Big pet peeve of mine. I don't know. I think it's
pretty bad,
overrated.
too.
You can put a fun coaster in any amusement park in the country, in the world, but Disney, I don't know. I expect a little more, and I just think that one in particular, they could have gone with the pier theme and kind of give us like you look at Midway Mania, right? It's pier themed, it's Midway, but it's like it's a fleshed out experience. That one, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. So that's my overrated. Underrated, I'm gonna go with Grizzly Peak. I love that attraction, and I love how when you get in your raft, you're bonding with the people in your raft, and you're laughing like like oh haha, you got wet, I didn't, that's a fun ride. That's a really really fun ride, and I feel like
the only thing that I wish with Grizzly River Run is that I wish they would make the rafts just a little bit bigger. Because as you had mentioned, which I do, you do get a bonding experience. You have fun with the people you're in, but it's like you're so jam-packed close to people that you're almost afraid that you come off and you get somebody pregnant. I mean, that's how close you are to these people. And it's like
your mouth has been crazy today. Wow, it's normal.
18 plus only, everybody. 18 plus only for tonight's episode.
Well,